All my viewers in the UK, with this being the Christmas season, Uncle KC brings you good tidings of great joy. Now, for my American viewers, I'm not quite finished shopping for you guys just yet, but my British viewers, I have an exclusive announcement, something that will give you a renewed sense of hope heading into 2026. Well, Uncle KC, are they going to ban political Islam in England? No. Unfortunately, major cities in the UK have already been successfully converted into Islamic dumps. But that's okay. It's okay. Because on Christmas Day, I'm being told that one of the leading nominees for the third annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards, on Christmas Day, exclusively in England, Jim Kimmel will appear on Channel 4 to deliver a special Christmas message. I'm being told Jim has been consuming gallons of eggnog to ensure the toxic mouth farts are extra potent. More than likely, this will be one of the final monologues that we see from Jim Kimmel. Thursday will officially mark the beginning of the end of his late-night career. Headline at the Enquirer: Jim Kimmel eyeing next move after signing disappointing one-year extension with ABC. I think I speak for everyone when I say we hope Jim's next move is retirement. I think I speak for everyone when I say we hope Jim's next move is to get off my TV. Like I told you guys a week or two ago when it was announced that ABC had agreed to extend Jim's woke welfare for an additional 12 months, instead of being fired next May, Jim will now be fired in May of 2027. But like I told you guys then, this extension is very peculiar. It's unusual. Normally, when the networks offer a contract extension to the trio of huge embarrassing failures in late night television, the length of the contract is typically 3, maybe 4 years. Now, this offers security to both the network and the failure. From a late night failures perspective, the contract gives you job security. It guarantees that you'll receive $15 million a year while struggling to draw flies to a fresh turd. From a network's perspective, your talent, or in this case, your lack of talent, they are locked into a contract. If by some miracle Sean Squires, well, Casey, don't you mean Seth Meyers? Who in the hell's Seth Meyers? I'm talking about Sean Squires, the doofus that comes on NBC after Jim Fallon. If by some miracle Sean actually starts drawing an audience, NBC is guaranteed to recoup their losses by monetizing his program. They don't have to worry about Sean being seduced and leaving for another network. Now, with that being the case, why would ABC offer Jim Kimmel a one-year extension instead of a multi-year extension? According to a source who spoke with the Enquirer, ABC is seriously considering replacing Jim Kimmel. Maybe they needed an additional year to work out the details on his replacement, or maybe, just maybe, ABC is looking to jump off the Titanic and get out of the unprofitable business of late-night television. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. So I get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fluffernoggin. I'm not a big snacker. I don't eat a lot of junk food, but if there's one time of year where I break this habit, it's during football season. One of my favorite snacks to eat while I'm watching NFL Red Zone on Sunday afternoons: beef jerky. Problem is, a lot of beef jerky tastes like you're biting into a flat tire. Good news is, I no longer have that problem because I started buying gourmet beef jerky from Fluffernoggin. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell is a Fluffernoggin? Fluffernoggin is gourmet beef jerky that is 100% made in America. You don't have to worry about consuming foreign cows. All these cows are homegrown. Each recipe from Fluffernoggin is handcrafted with the perfect amount of seasoning. First beef jerky I've ever tasted that literally melts in your mouth. Fluffernoggin comes in a variety of flavors, ranging from mango habanero, Korean barbecue. They even have a flavoring of craft beer. Or if you're like me, you'll just stick with the original style flavoring. Fluffernoggin beef jerky is the perfect stocking stuffer for Christmas. They're running a promotion during the holidays, so click the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Use promo code BTL30, BTL30. Receive 30% off your first purchase with Fluffernoggin. If I had to guess, ABC is likely getting out of the business of late night altogether. Me personally, I think they were going to let Jim's contract expire next May and just let him go. I think ABC got spooked from all the backlash they received when Jim was temporarily fired back in September. So they're giving Jim Kimmel an additional year of woke welfare to compensate for the emotional trauma that he endured while being fired. For the networks, late night is just nowhere near as profitable as it used to be. Matter of fact, the networks are actually losing millions of dollars by keeping these late night dumps on the air. It's not hard to figure out why normal people are no longer watching late night television. For starters, normal men, normal dudes, we can't relate to Jim Kimmel and Stevie Colbert. I mean, seriously, Stevie Colbert looks like that dork from Where's Waldo. And what masculine dude can relate to Jim Kimmel? If Jim Kimmel isn't crying, if he's not getting emotional about the overturning of Roe versus Wade, then he's doing podcast appearances with his wife where it's abundantly clear that she's wearing the pants and Jim is carrying the purse. Over the weekend, MRC Newsbusters released their latest update with late night television. MRC analyzed the jokes and the guests across 5 late night shows: Jim Kimmel, Stevie Colbert, Jim Fallon, Sean Squires, and someone named Taylor Tomlinson. "99% of the guests on these late night dumps were doofus Democrats. It would have been 100%, but Jim Fallon had the audacity to invite Greg Gutfeld on The Tonight Show. Ironically enough, the episode with Gregory, it was the most watched episode of The Tonight Show in years. Now, with that being the case, you would think these political pundits disguised as late-night comedians would shift their content towards the center. You would think they would make their turds appealing to everyone instead of continuing to appeal to a rapidly dwindling woke audience. Unfortunately, that was not the case. 92% of the jokes on late-night TV were about conservatives. There were over 12,000 jokes made about normal people. There were 982 jokes made about doofus Democrats. And there were over 7,000 jokes about Orange Man bad! With the vast majority of the jokes about the Orange Man coming from the 2 dudes with an unhealthy obsession with another man, Stevie Colbert and Jim Kimmel. Is it any wonder? Is it any wonder why no one is watching? I would imagine it's hard to draw an audience when you're alienating over half the country. But the trio of huge embarrassing failures in late night, they're not the only ones who have been destroyed by the woke fungus. Over the weekend, we were given another reminder as to how irrelevant Saturday Night Live has become. Bowen Yang, but my name is Bowen!
It doesn't matter what your name is!
Bowen Yang has spent the last 7 or 8 years as one of the many unknown cast members on SNL. Over the weekend, he abruptly decided to quit. This past Saturday was Rogan Yang's final appearance on the show. He now joins Heidi Gardner.
Who?
And Ego Inwodum?
Who?
Ego something. I can't pronounce their damn last name. Whoever the hell they are, the name doesn't fit because they're not successful or famous enough to have a big ego. Bowen Yang became the third cast member to quit SNL this season. Make matters worse, Benny quit the show in the middle of the season, which is unprecedented. Now, obviously, Lorne Michaels and the cast of SNL, they pretended like Bowen Yang leaving was a big deal, but the reality is, no one cares. Quick, name a memorable segment featuring Bowen Yang. Name a memorable character played by Bowen Yang. Hell, if I showed his parents a picture of Bowen, they wouldn't even recognize him. Poor dude has been buried on SNL for the last 8 years where no one is watching. Supposedly, Bowen Yang has a successful podcast that he wants to pursue full time. Perhaps that's true. I don't know. I know for damn sure he's not making a living on his YouTube channel, but I'm sure Bowen does well on other podcasting platforms. Either way, Bowen Yang's departure from Saturday Night Live, it's not a bad reflection on him. It's a reflection on how far this show has fallen off. For starters, how many of you guys even knew Saturday was Bowen Yang's final appearance? How many of you guys even know who Bowen Yang is? When is the last time SNL created a mainstream star? Well, Casey, what about Pete Davidson? Pete is a huge star, and I heard he's got a big Peter too. I don't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, nor do I give a shit about Keeping Up with the Kardashians, so I'm not familiar with feminine conversations about Peter's Peter. But is Pete Davidson really a mainstream star? Earlier this year, he was the star of some movie called The Home. It generated $1.7 million at the box office. You could make the case that the dude from Kenan and Kel from Nickelodeon is one of SNL's biggest stars, and that poor dude is treating Saturday Night Live like it's a career. I don't think Kenan understands how this works. You're supposed to establish your career at SNL, work there for a few years, then you move on, you leave. Basically, you're supposed to do what Bowen Yang is doing. Instead, this dude is going to retire from SNL. Of course, Kenan won't get that opportunity because I just don't see Saturday Night Live lasting much longer. Like late night television, SNL is very expensive to produce, and their ratings are nowhere near where they used to be. The October 25th episode with Bad Booger, shortly after it was announced that he would be performing at the Super Bowl. The October 25th episode of SNL, 2.1 million viewers. So far in December, they're down 1 million viewers when compared to last year. Bowen Yang leaving mid-season, it's further proof of SNL's declining relevance. When the headlines were released, everyone had the same question. Who in the Rudy Poo is Bowen Yang? Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.